Hey everybody, welcome to our second episode of Parent Talk. Our first one that we did got over 4,300 views at the time we were recording this, so that's fantastic. And we're going to jump into a new one. And so Uriel Stephens is back with me again. I'm Craig Sharon, the Director of Communications and Outreach for Easterseals, Michigan, and Uri is our Director of Family Services for Easterseals, Michigan. And why is there a need for the second edition of this Parent Talk, Yuri? What are we going to talk about?
We've been getting a lot of questions recently about how to deal with some anxiety, especially about some safety concerns in schools right now, really because of all the threats that are happening in school. So we decided that we would kind of share some signs of what to look for in kids that might be experiencing anxiety and some strategies for what parents can do.
Okay, I think for me, it's like, as a parent, how do you talk to your kids about their fears? You don't want to, like, if there's not a fear there, you don't want to plant the seed for fear, but you also feel a need to kind of bring it up. So how do you go about, what do you suggest for going about talking about your kids about fear?
Yeah, I think we can gauge those conversations, especially if we see that our kids might be more focused and be more anxious or talk about like not really wanting to go to school right now. And I think the most important thing is to really listen and validate what they're feeling. Acknowledge that right now it is scary, but also know that schools are doing a lot around safety measurements. So whether it's putting security officers in school or even taking every threat seriously at this point to ensure safety.
Okay, and what should parents look for if a child has increased anxiety because of everything that's happening?
So in some kids, and especially younger kids, you might see that they're more clingy, like they want to hang around you more. For children of any age, you might see that might have some sleep problems, some trouble concentrating, and even some physical symptoms such as headaches or stomach aches, especially like a stomach ache before having to go to school.
Mm-hmm. And if I start seeing these, as a parent, obviously you wanted to do something almost immediately or get involved to try to help your children out. So if I start to see some of these signs, what should I do if I see these?
I think just what we were talking about earlier, Craig, is start to talk to them about what they're feeling, and if there are fears about them, and talk about what would help them feel safe.
Okay, that's good. And so what can we do as parents to help set up maybe some sort of environment for them where it's a little bit less likely to cause an increase in anxiety or stress? So what can we do as parents to help that?
A few things. I think one thing is regular routines and some of that structure really help kids, because then there's some predictability. The last thing we want is some unpredictable thing while all of our arousers are heightened right now. The other thing is, talking about those fears and being transparent about communicating, yeah, it is scary, but here's what the school is putting in place to keep you safe.
Mm.
Sometimes it can be something as simple as just comforting, like a hug or spending time or playing a game together. And also, I know we talked about this last time a lot, but really limiting the exposure to the news right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. It's probably good for kids and for parents as well. So what can we do for parents? What can we do for us adults and parents that are also dealing with the increase in stress and anxiety about sending our children to school or just dealing with the trauma surrounding everything that's taking place?
I think, kind of what we talked about last time is using our own support network to talk about some of the feelings that we're experiencing. But also, what do we do when we're stressed out? What coping skills do we have? So I know for me, sometimes some of those physical outlets, like some cardio, makes me feel better. Or if I don't have that time to do that and I'm in a stressful moment, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, is some deep breathing techniques. And the same is true for our kids.
So what are other tools that we can provide to kids and parents out there?
So during the pandemic, we spent a lot of time talking about coping skills, if you remember, Craig.
Yeah.
And so we put together basically like a coping toolkit. And some examples of that is that you can have coping cards. So kids can draw some of their own activities that would help them feel grounded and cope when they're feeling stressed and anxious. So I highlighted a little example of here. No, can't see it really well, but kids could be able to build that with their parents.
That's good. And you were talking about grounding and what we can do to ground ourselves. What does that mean exactly? To ground ourselves, grounded.
So grounding is like a technique that helps us stay in the here and now, especially when, our thoughts or our brain wants to go elsewhere that might cause us some more stress and anxiety. So being grounded is being able to use a coping strategy that can help you focus on the here and now. So some examples of that, like we talk about, is deep breathing. Other examples is guided imagery, so you can close your eyes and picture something or somewhere where you want to be and take those deep breaths. Or it can be as simple as sometimes using your senses to ground you, such as like if smelling lavender or being able to take the bite of food and really taste that food.
Okay, that's great. And so those are the different things we can do to be grounded. And I think those are fantastic. It's interesting to me as we've kind of come a couple weeks now away from the tragedy in Oxford and the ripple effect across the community in terms of the added number of threats to just that are happening in schools. And it's interesting that you have like for example, you brought up the police and security presence at schools can be comforting for some kids, but it can also be a little alarming for some other kids who might feel like why are they here, what's going on. And I think some of these exercises are fantastic. I know I didn't know it's called grounding, what you suggest was fantastic. I know we do a lot of going for walks, and sometimes it's just taking a break from all the stimuli that's kind of bombarding us and being able to focus on just getting some exercise and some fresh air and being away from that is fantastic through the stress and anxiety of the situation. So that's fantastic. I know there's a lot of resources on our website, Eastersealsmichigan.com, and we keep adding to that. So I know if some individuals have checked out that website last week. I know we've added some this week. So we're constantly adding to that. Is there anything else to say, Uri, to talk about this?
I think the other thing is like to check out our website, but as people have more questions, to feel free to chat with us or even chat with us after we post these webinars if they have other questions or that they'd like us to add some other topics to our discussions.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. I forgot to mention that for sure. 1-800-75-SEALS is our phone number. And one of the things I love about Easterseals is the welcoming, kind of calming nature that we approach dealing with the community, because we've been here for so long and we're kind of part of the community ourselves. So it's a very safe, comforting place to speak, which is exactly what you want when you're dealing with a lot of anxiety and stress. You want to be able to be comfortable, and so that's a wonderful thing that you and your team have been doing since this whole thing started. Just being there for the community has been great, and we have a great team of dedicated professionals ready to help in any way they can. So, all right, well, thank you very much, Uri. Is that all we've got for this episode?
I think the only thing is that why don't we end with doing a deep breathing exercise ourselves? I know we've got a busy day ahead of us.
That's right. All right.
All right. So we want to take that deep breath and hold. Count to 5. And exhale. Let's do it one more time.
All right. That's great. And so what does that deep breathing do? Is there a chemical thing, or is it just
A few things. I mean, think about deep breathing also helps regulate our heartbeat, and especially if we're feeling anxious, it can help take that heartbeat down. And the other part too is that grounding, help us feel in the here and now.
Perfect. So it's kind of like taking a little bit of a pause. It's like a
Mhm.
pause button a little bit. Well, awesome. Thank you so much, Yuri. Again, to everyone, please check out our website, eastersealsmichigan.com, and give us a call if you need us. We are always here. 1-800-75-SEALS is the number, and we will be back with another one of these sessions in a little bit. Thank you.
Thank you.